All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now, all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh. Even though we did the wrong thing, my life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name. Now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas. Not knowing that them handcuffs custom made. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster.
Alright, actually I'm gonna have a Dar read for me. Dar, you got your sword on you?
Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Pray to him all the time and I
I'm
was
gonna have you
just a
read for me. We're
stranger.
gonna get class started. I'm just sharing this live video. Just gonna go ahead and start class.
Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Pray to him all the time and I was
Lord
just
Christ
a
and the
stranger.
partial
All I
love.
wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be.
Alright, this is the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Out of Atlanta, under Commander General Yahanna. This is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the Tuesday Brotherhood class. Today we're gonna be talking about people saying you can't judge me. You understand? It just intrigued my curiosity when we was at camp. This past Saturday, and somebody out there saying, "Oh, you can't be judging people. You can't be judging people." And a lot of people say that. You know what I mean? They always got the premises of, based off what we say, you can't judge them. But what comes to my thought is, first, they don't know what judgment means. And second of all, what we are doing is actually in the Bible. If they picked up their Bible, they would see that God actually commands, and you understand, commands us to do this. He commands us to go out on the streets. It's like a direct command that the Lord gives us to go out there or have classes to teach the people. You understand? And so we're going to go ahead and get into that today. I want to start off with Isaiah 58 and 1. You understand? We're going to start off with Isaiah 58 and 1. So if you could pull that for me, Hadar, pull Isaiah 58 and 1. You understand? Because, you know what I mean, you're going to always hear this, especially when you're coming into the truth. You start to become an officer, or you already officer and teacher. So one thing that you always hear people say is, only God can judge me. Not even in the truth. People say this in the world. Like, before you even knew about the truth, you probably heard somebody, oh, God can't judge me. I mean, only Salakia, only God can judge me. Oh, you ain't supposed to be judging people. Only God can judge me. And they use certain verses in the Bible, but it shows that they just don't know what the Bible is talking about. They don't know the context of words. They don't even know what the hell a word means. Because even if you look up the word judgment, like, here's a question. Anybody know what the word judgment means? Nobody know what the word judgment means?
Sir.
Go ahead.
I believe a judgment is a sentence of condemnation.
Right, you can pull up the definition real quick on Google, or if somebody got a compact Bible dictionary, pull up the definition of judgment. Actually, if anybody got a compact Bible dictionary. You said, somebody said something?
Yep. Come on, I don't want to call.
Yeah, pull up the word judgment for me in your compact Bible dictionary and read it for me. Baba Kwashah.
Judgment, referring in Bible sometimes to the pronouncing of a formal opinion or decision by men, but more often to a calamity regarded as fit by God by way of punishment.
By way of
or
what?
a sentence of, by way of punishment.
By way of what?
Punishment.
Right, that's what judgment is. Judgment will be punishment. When we go out there on the street, we not punishing nobody. You understand? We telling them what's going to happen if they continue in their life, but we not actually executing no punishment. Hold that verse, hold that definition for me in the Bible dictionary, because I'm going to come back to it later. Hadar, you got Isaiah 58:1?
Got one concept.
All right, go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice as a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Right. Isaiah 58:1 says, cry aloud. Now, that's not actually talking about crying, but it means speaking in a loud voice, speaking boldly. That's what it means. You understand? We're supposed to go out there and speak boldly. People hate it when we go out there on every Saturday or Friday, depending on where you at, to go out to camp, and we out there on the podium showing Israel their transgressions. You understand? Showing our people, telling us, you know what I mean, that we don't need to be doing what the heathens doing. That we gotta, start following the Lord. They hate it when we go out there. When we was packing up last camp, you had somebody walk right past us after we packed up and was just like, thank God, they finally leaving. I hate them. You know what I mean? People walking by, I hate them. I hate these dudes on the corner. You know what I mean? You understand? They hate it when we go out there, but the Bible says to cry out loud and spare not. You're not supposed to be sparing people's feelings. You understand? And I don't mean to talk to anybody any kind of old way. You understand? Don't think about it like, oh, I can talk to anybody any type of way. I don't have to spare their feelings. But what it means to not spare their feelings is our people, like, we don't want to hear the truth. We have a tendency to not want to hear the truth. We want to be lied to. You know what I mean? We want everything to seem as if it's good, and we want to be comfortable with our life. That's how we be comfortable with our lives, being lied to. You know what I mean? That's why we fill the Christian churches, you understand, and give them all the money, because when you go to Christian church, they motivational speakers, man. They you know what I mean? They make you feel good. I was watching, before I class today, when I was preparing a class, you know what I mean? I was watching an I.S.U.P.K video, but after that, a Joe Osteen video came on. I was just watching it for a minute, you know what I mean, just a little bit, to see if he ever pulled out the Bible. He never pulled out the Bible. Now, granted, it's a damn devil, you know what I mean, but he never pulled the Bible out. You understand? He's just talking about what he think. He referencing stories, but don't actually give you what the Bible says about the story. You understand? It's like we want to go somewhere to hear a motivational speaker to make us feel good about ourselves. We don't want to hear the truth. You understand? So that's why every time we go out there, people are always against us and they just hate us out there. Now, there is some people that hear us, you know what I mean, they come to class and they understand, like, these, you know what I mean, they be like, these men got the truth. But most of them, they don't want us out there. But it says right here to cry aloud and spare not. You understand? Tell them what they're doing wrong, even though they don't want to hear it. Tell them that they can't smoke a blunt, that you can't sleep with somebody else's woman. You understand? That you can't put away your wife, you know what I mean, unless she committed fornication. Tell them that, you know what I mean, you can't do these things. You can't be eating shrimp, lobster, crab, and pork, celebrating holidays, birthdays, and Thanksgiving, and all this stuff is to destroy our people. Somebody has to say it. If nobody don't say it, then what's going to happen? Eventually, we would just be killed off, man. Eventually, the white man would just get rid of us all. If nobody is standing up against them, if we have no black power, you know what I mean, black people in the black community standing up for our people, then how the hell are we going to get out of this condition? if everybody just quiet, if everybody a damn Steve Harvey and only just care about them damn selves. You understand? Shalom, Lord Christ. Who just chimed in?
Yeah, about some other side, brother five. You can manage to know.
Are you doing Tawab?
I'm Kazaa, by the way. You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing Tawab. But yeah, we at Isaiah 58:1. Read on. It says, and show. Read where it says that. Where it says, and show my people.
Come on, the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 1. And show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Right, and this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be showing them the transgressions, man. Transgressions is the breaking of the law. You understand? That's what a sin is. A sin is the transgression of the law. You understand? We're supposed to go out there and show them what they're doing right. You got to think about it in your mind. If nobody's telling you what you're doing is wrong, how would you stop doing it? Like if everybody said homosexuality is great and it's something that's just, everybody can do for themselves, then what would make somebody that's a homosexual stop being a homosexual? If nobody said smoking weed is against the Bible and it's against the Lord, who would stop smoking weed? You know what I mean? If everybody said, oh, you can sleep with whoever you want, hey, you know what I mean? Even if that's another man's girl, if she have consensual sex, it's okay. Why would people stop? If nobody is telling them that what they're doing is wrong, nobody will stop doing what they're doing. You know why? Because they'll think that is right. You know what I mean? They'll say, oh, well, only God can judge me. Meaning, in essence, they're saying, you understand that what they're doing is right. That they have a right to do whatever they're doing and they're not doing anything wrong. You understand? If nobody told, that's why it's a command. This is a command for us to go out there and tell them their sins. Show the world, show our people of what they're doing wrong, why we in the conditions that we're in. Because you got to understand, it goes hand in hand. The reason why we're in these conditions is because we decide that we want to do what we want. So then, if we don't say nothing, we're going to stay in this condition. We will never get out of this condition. We'll never get out of oppression. And the white man will always have his foot on our neck, man. You understand? But read that from the top again.
Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Right, and that's why we go out there. We're not out there judging people, which I'm going to get into later. But a lot of people saying only God can. We're not judging you. You understand? We're doing what the Bible say to show the people, show our people the transgressions, man. Because we was once like that. You understand? You got to understand, if you was once like, we was once like that in the world, doing what we want to do, you know what I mean? Following the white man, whether we wanted to believe it or not, that's what we was doing before we came into the truth. But when we out there doing it, somebody had, had the decency, had the love for his people to show us what we were doing wrong. So why wouldn't we do the same? Why wouldn't we try to help people if somebody helped us? All the way down to Commander General Yahanna, holding the truth down. You understand? And it got down. You know what I mean? Lucky Commander General Yahanna held the truth down all the way down to where now new brothers that's coming in, me, all the rest of the new brothers coming in will be able to come in because of Commander General Yahanna on down. From the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Being in the school. You understand? That's why it's a command for us to do this. It's a command for us to go out there. And you should want to do it. You shouldn't look at camp or, teaching class if you get the class passed down to you as a burden or something that you don't want to do. Because by you doing that, you are the forefront of defending your nation. You are on the front lines in defending your nation, of helping your people. You understand? So I wanted to start for that, to let people know that it's a commandment that we go out there and we tell the people. And we don't take it lightly. You understand? We take it because we take it very, very serious, because we go on the war when we go out there on camp. You understand? Give me Ezekiel 9:4. I'm gonna pull it in the Bible in another part. Yahbashim Yashab Brakatah. I see you online, Shabbai. Yeah, I'm gonna go to another part of the Bible where it says the same thing, man. Give me Ezekiel 9:4. And read it when you got it.
set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right. It says, go therefore. Let me see. It says, go therefore in the midst of the city, man. We're supposed to be going in the midst of all these cities that our people are in. You understand? And we're supposed to teach them the word so they can have the mark set upon them for the ones that sigh and cry, meaning they're the ones that's speaking out loud. They're the ones that's showing Israel their transgressions. That's, you know what I mean, condemning the abominable things that we do as a people. You understand? This is a mark that's supposed to be set because we all know that the mark, you know what I mean, the beast has a mark, the mark of the beast, which is Christianity. But the Lord has a mark too, man. The Lord has a mark that he done put on the people that he knows following him. You understand? And those ones with that mark is the ones that when destruction comes, they will be unscathed, man. They'll be unharmed. You understand? And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be finding. Hold on, Salakia. We're supposed to be, you know what I mean, going out there and showing the people and telling the people so they can come into the truth and have that mark put upon them so that they don't have to be, they don't have to worry about the judgment that's coming to America. That they're not going to be partakers, like it say in Revelation, partakers of her sins, of the America's sins, man. Being destroyed with the white man because you love the white man so much. Read that from the top again. Shalom, Lord Christ. Who just chimed in?
Shalom, Rabbi Shimon, Shabbat Shabbat, Isupk 1.
All right, how you doing, man? You doing too wild?
Yeah, everything too wild, by the one. How you?
Yeah, I'm doing too wild. The water for action. But yeah, we at Ezekiel 9:4. Read that from the top.
And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right, you understand? Read that one more time for me.
And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh, and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right, and that's what we're supposed to be doing, man. We're supposed to be sighing and crying out to the people, telling them the transgressions, man, telling them the abominable things that they're doing so they can stop doing it. So they'll know that the reason of why we in this condition is what we're doing now, that we're sinning against the Lord. You understand? That we sitting here saying that we serve the Lord, but we're not. We're serving ourselves. You understand? We're doing what the hell we want to do and not what the Lord want us to do. Showing that we love our people so much that we don't want them to be destroyed, that we don't want our people to be killed during this judgment that's going to come to the world. You understand? We're not out there judging people, man. We out there doing what is required from us to do because now we're in the truth and we're supposed to be the servants, the prophets of the Lord. You understand? We're supposed to be the ones serving the Lord, so we have to tell the people this. You understand? And if we don't, it will actually be the blood. Like, you got to understand that we didn't tell people, which I'm going to get in our next verse. If we didn't tell people the things that they were doing wrong, and we supposed to be the servants, the leaders of our community, then we will be responsible for what happens to the people. That's why we blame our Christian leaders, or Shalom, Lord Christ, who just chimed in. How you doing, Tawab, man?
Calm.
All right, no sweat. But yeah, if we didn't go out there and tell the people, you understand, we would be the blame for the destruction that happened to our nation. You understand? That's why we blame the Christian pastors and your black leaders, you know what I mean, your I.S.U.P.K and Justice. That's why we blame them so much, because they put themselves as the front leaders of the black community, right? Like the NAACP, those are the ones that's supposed to be defending the black people. They're supposed to be representing the black community, the leaders, the ones that got a voice that can go out there and talk, and people will listen to them. You understand? But what do they do for the black community? They don't do a damn thing, man. All they do is make sure they got money in their pocket. And that's why for everything that we going through, for all the people that's sinning, we blame the Christian leaders, man. Because they're supposed to be, if you're supposed to be a man of God, and you're supposed to be using the Bible in the church, you're supposed to be telling the people the truth, not lying to them and making them comfortable living a sinful life. Just because you get money from them. You understand? You're not supposed to be beguiling the people and being like the damn white man and pretty much having people, Christians, thinking that they heathens. You understand? Thinking that they Hamites and not realizing that they actually the true Jews of the Bible. You understand? But give me Ezekiel 3:17. Go to Ezekiel 3:17. Because you'll find out that this is what we supposed to do, man. And if we don't, because if something happened to the black community, if something happened to anybody, you will automatically blame the leaders because those are the ones that's supposed to lead the people. But if they're not doing their job, then how can you expect, you understand, the people to be in a good position? Like if we didn't have nobody that was a leader in the black community, or the leaders, you understand, was doing everything to fill their pocket up, how can you expect our community to get any better? That's why everybody know you need role models. You need people that people can follow behind, go to when they got problems, seek the answers when they need answers, get counseling. You need those people set up. Even if like a dispute happened, you need people to set up to be able to handle the dispute righteously to where everything is fair. If not, then everything is going to be in chaos, man. You got that verse for me? Shalom, Lord Christ, who just chimed in?
Hello. My name is Chappelle.
Salaki, I couldn't hear you.
Chappelle.
All right, I got you. And now, just place the phone on mute. If you got any questions or comments, take it off, say Salaki, and we'll go ahead and get you in here, all right?
Okay.
All right. You understand? But you got that verse for me, Ezekiel 3:17?
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
Right, you understand? The Lord done made us watchmen over his house, over our people. He done set us up to be over our people, to lead our people, to help our people, to be the ones to protect our people, the front line protection of the black community. You understand? And everybody knows this too. I'm gonna tell you right now. Everybody knows, like when they see the I.S.U.P.K, we are the front runners for the protection of our black community, man. Like even the people who don't like us, or you know what I mean, got something against us, they'll always say, well, when the war pops off, or you understand, when everything pop off, just let me know and I'll be with you. They'll know to come to the I.S.U.P.K, but you know what's wrong with that? They not willing to fight the battle right now. They gotta wait till something happens. But you understand? That's what's the difference between us and them, though, because we willing to fight the battle now. You know what I mean? You can't wait until something happens for you to want to go ahead and now change yourself. Because you never know. Once something happens, it might be too late. It might just be too late. You might be a day or two too late. You understand? But that's why we go out there and do what we supposed to do. Because we supposed to be watchmen. You understand? We supposed to be over the nation, helping the nation, bringing the nation back. And there ain't no way you can bring the nation back or build our nation up without following the Lord. Or people don't know how to follow the Lord. Because a lot of people, they want to follow the Lord, but they just don't know how. You understand? They've been tricked and bamboozled by the Christian pastor all their life that they don't realize that they got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Or they might not even know the law, statutes, and commandments because they don't pick the Bible up, because every time they go to church, you understand, the Christian pastor don't pick the Bible up. So they figure, why should they? You know what I mean? But read the next verse.
When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
Right. You understand? Saying that if he say the wicked shall die, the Lord says the wicked shall die. You understand? That's the judgment, which we're going to get into now or later. But that's the judgment, being put to death, man. You understand? But the Lord's telling us, if he says the wicked shall die, you understand? And what? And thou givest him not warning, meaning we don't warn the people. We don't go out there and tell them that they gotta follow the law, statutes, and commandments. That they gotta stop smoking. They gotta stop sleeping with other men's women. They gotta stop selling drugs, gang banging, killing their own people. You understand? They gotta stop doing these things. If we don't warn them, then they will still die because of what they're doing. But their blood will be at our hands, man. Meaning we will be responsible for their death. We will be responsible for what goes on because we not warning the people. We not telling the people. That's why your Christian pastors are responsible for everything that happens with the people that go to their church. You know what I mean? Molestation, rape, all the women going to church and being whores. The Christian pastor is responsible for it because he did not warn the people. Now, so he told them that it was okay. Just keep coming to church and give me your tithes and everything will be all right. You understand? But we not like that. You understand? We understand that we got to go out there and tell the people. So we won't be responsible for their death, man. We won't be responsible for what happens to them because they decided to live that lifestyle. Because they heard us and they heard us tell them that they should stop doing it. They just didn't want to listen. You understand? Keep going. Read the next verse.
Yet, if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul.
Right. You understand? But if we warn the people and they don't turn, they still want to do what they do, and the wicked die, you understand? It says right there, but we have delivered our soul, meaning we're not going to be held responsible now. You understand? We did what we're supposed to do. You can't force nobody to change. That's one thing that you want to keep in your mind too. Even when you come into the truth and you become an officer, it's going to be people that you might, like your friends or your family, you might want them to join the truth, but you can't force nobody to do it. You can give them a warning. You don't got it now. Warning don't mean like every time they do something, you got to be on their back. Like, oh, you know what I mean? You can tell them. Tell them once, and that should be enough, man. Because if they want to listen, they gonna come and require from you. They gonna come and ask you. But if not, they gonna do what the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? You don't never want to force the truth on somebody. They either gonna hear it and they gonna join, or they gonna hear it. It might take them some time because they, you know what I mean? I guess they're working up the courage or something like that. But the best thing to do is not to try to fix yourself before you come to the truth. That's 9 times out of 10. That's not going to happen. You should come into the truth, and the truth will allow you to fix yourself. You understand? But the most you can do is warn them, man. You ain't got to be on their back. Keep telling them anytime they do something, oh, you know you're not supposed to do that, right? No. You can warn them once. You tell them that they got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. If they want to do it, they'll do it. If not, then, you know what I mean? You delivered your soul. You ain't going to be responsible for it no more. You understand? You're not going to be the one that just sat there and been quiet because it benefits you or you didn't want to get involved. Oh, it don't got nothing to do with me. A lot of the people in our community that's supposed to be the rich people, that's supposed to be the leaders of our community, they don't deal with it because they say things like, well, I don't understand because I don't live in that condition, or I don't, you know what I mean? They can't relate because they got money. You understand? You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be like, oh, well, I can't relate, or I don't understand, or, well, I don't go through that because you got some type of status. You know what I mean? That just shows you don't give a damn about your people, and you are actually going to be responsible because you're the one that could do something, but you choose not to because all you do is care about your damn self. You know what I mean? But that's why I say right here that we must warn the people. Read it from the top again. Read verse 18.
When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
Right, you understand, man? That's why we go out there and do what we're supposed to do. You can't say that you are a servant of the Lord, or you a man of God, and you not teaching what God says in the Bible. You understand? Or you teaching a lie, contrary to what the Lord say in the Bible. You understand? You will not be a man of God doing that. That's why we got to go out there and do it. Read the next verse.
Yet, if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
Right, man, you understand? But if you warn the people, there's only so much that you can do. But you know, you made sure you're not responsible for it. You made sure you did your part as a leader, because that's what leaders do. You understand? You made sure that they know what's going to happen. So when it happens, they not surprised because you know what? You told them. You understand? Give me Micah 3:1. We're going to go to Micah 3:1. Shalom, Lord Christ. Who just chimed in?
Sir, this is really my call drop.
All right, no sweat. While he pulling Micah 3:1, anybody got any questions? It don't necessarily got to be on this topic. Just any questions? Nobody got any questions? Oh, you got Micah for me?
Come on, come. The book of Micah, chapter 3, verse 1. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment?
Or why did he say that? Why did he say, is it not for you to know judgment? Go ahead.
Because we're supposed to know judgment.
Why are we supposed to know judgment?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Because we were given the law.
That's true, but that's true. You know what I mean? We was the only ones given the law, so you know what I mean. You wanted to know the judgment, but that's not really explaining why we need to know the judgment. Anybody need to know? Anybody? Go ahead.
Is it because we broke the law?
That's not quite what I'm looking for. Just think about it.
Yes, sir.
Just think about it. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Just think about it. Why would you need to know the judgments to things? Like, we got the law. Why would you need to know the judgment? Go ahead, Kevin.
Is it because like we're gonna be the one to execute the judgment?
Well, yeah, that's true too. But all right, think about it like this: when the kingdom comes, right, and we back in our rulership, we gonna be under the law again. So you know, you right. You would want to know it, so because you're gonna be executing it. But what? Nah, but that's damn near giving it away. But once the kingdom heart and the law is now in effect, why would people need to know the judgment? Go ahead. No, go ahead. I heard Carl on first.
Yeah, that was when people break the law. You know the punishment for breaking it.
You said wait, say that again one more time.
When people break the law, you need to know the judgments. That way you can correct the people who break the law or punish the people who break the law.
Yeah, that's like kind of like we got to execute it. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm not looking at it at the standpoint of, you know what I mean? All right, I'm trying to see how I can word this. Let me see.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Basically, to know what's for you and what's not for you, or Israel, in other words.
Think about it like this. Why is there a punishment for the law? You can even think about it for the society that we live in now. Like we got a law now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. We got a law now right here in America. Why do you need to know the law? And why do you need to know the punishment for the law? Go ahead.
You need to know the law to keep from breaking the law, and you need to know the punishment to the of the breaking the law, so they give you a reinforcement on not breaking the law.
That's exactly why. You understand? You would you gotta understand. Think about it like That's exactly correct. You gotta think about it like this. Once the kingdom come, you get your head cut off for committing adultery, or you get stoned to death for committing adultery. You know why you need to know that? So you don't commit adultery. So it's a reminder of when you see somebody, you got somebody, other woman that's hitting on you, you'll be like, well, damn, I will get stoned to death and killed by messing with this woman. And so you know what you do? You don't mess with her. You know what I mean? Damn, I'll be killed and stoned for smoking this blunt, for doing, you know what I mean, this wicked thing that I know the Lord gonna see. That's why you would need to know the punishment, because the punishment prevents you from breaking it. You understand? What is the reason why we keep the law? Because we don't want to be punished, right? You know what I mean? We come into the truth and we keep the law because we know that if we don't, the Lord will punish us. You understand that we won't be given no kingdom, and who the hell knows what the hell will happen to us. Whatever the Lord seems fit will happen to us will happen, and anything is righteous. Anything that happens to us will be righteous because of what? We was breaking the law. You know what I mean? If you be a homosexual, the punishment is death. You know you can catch AIDS. You know what I mean? You eating pork, shrimp, lobster, you know the punishment is death. You can catch high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking cigarettes, cancer. You need to know the punishments because it prevents you from not doing them. It prevents you from breaking that law. It motivates you to keep the law because you don't want that bad thing to happen to you. You know what I mean? That's why it says right here, because at this time you had the prophets, the ones that are supposed to be in over the Lord, you know what I mean, over the Lord's temple and teaching the people. They was breaking the law themselves. You understand? They wasn't keeping it. They was teaching, like if you read down later on in this verse, it said they was teaching for hire, and because of their money, they said the Lord is with us. What bad thing can happen to us? Because they thought that though, because they got all this money, you know what I mean, the Lord got to be with them. So they wasn't keeping the law, man. They was breaking the law. Because if you don't know it, what you going to do? If you don't know the law, you're going to break it. You don't know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't. Just like before we came into the truth, we thought the Bible was a white man's book. We probably, you know what I mean, didn't believe in Christianity. We definitely probably didn't believe in the Bible. Or if we did, we just damn near didn't follow it or opened it up. You know what I mean? So we didn't know no better. We didn't know we got to actually keep the laws, and we got to stop celebrating holidays and start celebrating the holy days in the Bible. But because we start to know the law, we start to know the punishment for it, it motivated us to keep it. It put something in our spirit to make us keep this law and not break it. You know what I mean? Read that from the top again.
And I said, here, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment?
Right, man. Meaning you're supposed to know the judgment. You're supposed to know the punishment for what you're doing. That's what's going to make you stop. That's one of the key factors in making you stop doing what you're doing, man. When you realize you're destroying your community and you're not helping it. When you realize you're destroying yourself. You understand? Give me Psalms 147 and 19. Pull Psalms 147 and 19. We're going to pull this verse to show you even more of why Israel needs to know the judgments, because the Lord only gave them to us, man. You understand? That's why we go through the things that we go through right now, because we're suffering the judgments of our sins, man. We're suffering the punishment for us going against the Lord. And other peoples are not, because they was never given his laws or his judgments. know what I mean? So read that when you got it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Right, so anyway,
as for his judgments.
Let's stop right there. Oh, wait, no, keep going, actually. Salakia, read the rest of that.
He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Right, so why he say he shows his statutes and his judgments in the same sentence? Because, you know what I mean, when we out there on the street, a lot of people say that, oh, you can't judge nobody. Well, if that was the case, why he said he showed his statutes and his judgments, meaning they're different. It's a difference, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Could it be that he's showing the laws and what'll happen if you break the laws?
Yeah, that's exactly why he said that. That's exactly why he said that. You understand? A lot of people was getting that mixed up. They thinking that because we showing them the laws, we showing them the statutes, we're judging them. We're not judging you. You know what I mean? That's why I say right here, it gave you it broke them down to two different words separate from each other and mention them both. Because to show you the law is not judging you. That's just showing you what we have to do, what is required from us, what is expected of us for the Lord to turn away our oppression. You know what I mean? But the judgment is the punishment. That's why he said he shows them the statutes and the judgments, meaning he's showing you the law and what you have to keep. And he also showing you the punishment on if you don't keep it. You understand? That's why it says that in two different things. And then it goes on to say, for the other, he haven't done so with the other nations. For they haven't, his judgments, they have not known them. Meaning the other nations did not know the punishments of the Lord for breaking his law because they wasn't given the law. Which shows you what? What does that show you based off this topic?
It was only for Israel.
Right, it was only for Israel. That's true, but you know what I mean? What I was trying to get at was it says like for the other nations they have not known his judgments. Meaning because the law wasn't given to them. Meaning if you don't know the law, then you're not going to know the judgments. You understand? You're not going to know what's going to happen to you if you don't know the law. But when you Israel, you need to know it because you will be judged based off of you breaking the law. Based off of you breaking what the Lord told you to do. You understand? Other nations is not going to be judged like that. That's why I say when judgment day come, the Lord going to deal with his people first. Before he even deal with other nations, he's going to deal with his people first. Because we're the ones that's judged by the law. You understand? We're the only ones that he knew. So he's going to punish us first, man. But we don't want our people to be punished, so that's why we go out there and tell them the law. That's why we go out there and cry aloud to them. You understand? Give me John 8:1. Pull John chapter.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 1. Jesus, Yahanna, went unto the Mount of Olives. And early in the morning he came again into the temple. And all the people came unto him. And he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery, in the very act.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I know we had a question that was last week that I wanted to answer. I'm going to come back to this, just hold that. But I know we had a question last week that I wanted to answer. Anybody remember what that question was? I forgot what verse it was. I know the question, but I forgot what verse it was at. It was about the, what was it? It was about the Young man Willie, I know you remember that question that was asked last week?
You talking about the divorce with the woman?
Yeah, right. Where's that verse at?
36, Matthew 5, 36 and 37, I believe. Let me get to it out there. You can see. Matthew chapter 5, 31 and 32.
Matthew 5 and 31 and 32.
Calling all the one calling.
Read that for me. I just wanted to make sure I answered this question because I forgot to do it from the beginning.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 31. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife,
oh no, that's
let
the.
him give her
Hold on, Salakia. That is the answer. That is the answer. Shalom, Christ just chimed in.
Salakia session.
You doing Tawaf, sis?
I'm doing the wall.
All right, no sweat. All right, if you got any questions or comments, just take it off, Sister Salakia. We'll get you in here.
All right.
Yeah, that was the. That was
you want to know you want to know the question?
Yeah, the verse he used for the question. Time.
I don't think it was a verse we used for the question. I think it was a question that someone had the week before about putting away their wife. Because we were talking about it in Ecclesiasticus. Give me a second. I wrote it down. Let me find it.
Nah, it was I know it's a verse that he used. That's what I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on, give me 1 second. And if anybody figure out, I know it was something like along the lines of giving her a bill of divorce.
That's the same verse.
Oh, that's what it is?
And that's the same verse, sir. If I had to let him give her a written divorcement, and then the bill of divorce, that's in the Old Testament law.
Yeah, so you said that's Matthew what?
Chapter 5, verse 31. That's Christ giving correction on the teachings on divorce.
Nah, that wasn't it. It was in the Old Testament. Yeah, where in the Old Testament did it say it, though? That's what I'm looking for.
Give me a moment, I'll find it.
If anybody knows, just chime in. Oh yes, Ecclesiasticus. It was in the Apocrypha. It's in the Apocrypha. It's Ecclesiasticus 25 and 26.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
I pulled Deuteronomy chapter 24, chapter verse 3.
Yeah, that wasn't it. It's actually in Ecclesiasticus. It was in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 25 and 26. Somebody pull that for me.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
Is that Ecclesiasticus 25 and 26?
Or do you mean Ecclesiastes?
No, it should be Ecclesiasticus 25 and 26. That's not what I got in mind.
Salakia, sir, I have it.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Hadar.
I will find the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 26. If she go not, as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go.
Right, you understand? It says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Meaning, in the Old Testament, you could give, if your wife wasn't doing what you told her to do, you could give her a bill of divorce. That's what this verse is saying. You know what I mean? It's saying that you could have actually gave her a bill of divorce and divorced her because she didn't listen to you. You understand? But that's not how always it should have been. That's not how it should have been. So to answer that question, we will go to Matthew, pull Matthew 19 and 7. I actually want Matthew 19 and 7. That's the one I want. Because Matthew 5 and 30 is a good one, but I actually want Matthew 9 and 17. Or 9 and 7, 19 and 7, Salakia, 19 and 7.
Go one time. The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 7. Then say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
Right, you understand? So actually read verse 6. We're going to show why they said this. Because you know this is the Sadducees and Pharisees that's talking to Yahushua. You understand? They asking him, why did Moses say to give her a bill of divorce like we just read in Ecclesiasticus? Read verse 6 first.
One time. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder.
Right, you understand? For they are one. They're not no longer twain. Twain means to be two. You understand? That's what it means by twain. But it's saying they're not two, they're one. You understand? But one flesh, meaning they're supposed to be on one accord. You understand? It says, what the Most High put together, let no man put asunder, meaning let no man break it up. You understand? Like when you get a marriage, you get a marriage certificate in America, you understand? You can go to the same courthouse and get a bill of divorce and get a divorce, and a man can be able to break y'all apart. You understand? Even now, you understand? It's men that was able to break them apart in the Last Testament. They would look at the bill of divorce, accept it, and they will rule it right, and then those people will be put away. You know what I mean? They'll be separate now. But it says right here, this is Christ talking, let no man put away, man, meaning that you're supposed to be with her for life. You understand? That's how it was supposed to be. You weren't supposed to be able to get a bill of divorce. You understand? Read the next verse now.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
Right, and then they said to him, well, Moses said, why did Moses have it in writing that if you know what I mean, that you could put her away? That what we just read, it's in Deuteronomy 24 and 1, like the sis said, and also in Ecclesiasticus. That was the one that we specifically used last week. You understand? But they said, you know what I mean, why did Moses say that you can give her a bill of divorcement and put her away? Read the next verse.
He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so.
Right, meaning that's why Moses did it. Because of the hardness of your hearts, man. Because of how you acted. Because of how y'all were. That's why he suffered you to be able to put her away. But you're not supposed to have a hardness of your heart, especially to your wife, man. You understand? You're supposed to be understanding. You're supposed to be able to deal with it, go through it with her, help her out. Not just be hardness from your heart. You gotta understand, like it's like you know what I mean. You gotta disgust towards her. You know what I mean. You always blaming her for stuff. Like nowadays, if a man were to have a hardness to his heart, to a hardness to his heart towards his wife, he got the mindset of he don't want to hear what she got to say. You know what I mean? Always expecting a problem out of her, never giving her a chance. You know what I mean? Just looking for problems, man. You understand? That's why Moses allowed us to do it back then, because of the hardness of the man's heart. But Christ said it was not always so, meaning that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it was in the beginning. You just get mad at your wife because she don't do what you tell her to do, and then you be able to put her away. 9 times out of 10, she's not doing what you tell her to do because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? She looking at you and she realizing, well, why should I follow you if you not right? You know what I mean? Keep going, read the next verse.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
So what? So stop right there. What does it just say right there? Whoever so shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. What does that mean? Nobody know what that means? Nobody want to take a shot? Salaki, if I could, whoever got their phone off mute that just said Salaki, you got a lot of feedback coming in the background, so I would have to have you mute. I couldn't, Salaki, I wouldn't be able to answer. There's a lot of feedback coming from the back of the mic, so we wouldn't be able to hear it. But anybody, unless you want to, you can fix that, then you can go ahead and chime in. But
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Her feeling like she can have a man or several on the side other than her husband.
Wait, all right, explain that a little bit more.
Meaning she can have multiple, her feeling she can have multiple husbands, like as if a man can have multiple wives.
Like, explain it using the verse. It says, whoever so shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. So how are you relating that to, like, you and me? Are you saying that she can? Or, like, what are you saying right there?
No, being able to put her away when she's out there living that lifestyle. So
Go ahead.
if a woman did any sexual act besides with her husband, that's a form of fornication against her husband. And you can put her away for bestiality, adultery, or anything.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, the number one prominently would be adultery. You know what I mean? Sleeping with another man. I think that's what you was trying to say. But I was trying to get you to word in a way where everybody understand what you're saying, the young man. But just like Carl once said, unless she commit adultery, that's the only way you could be able to. Unless she commit fornication, that would be the only way you could put her away, which would be any type of fornication is a sexual deviancy. You know what I mean? Sleeping with another man, obviously. Homosexuality, sleeping with a woman, that also counts too. You understand? Sleeping with an animal, bestiality. I will hope that it ain't black, Hispanic, and Native American sleeping with animals. I know that's something that white people do. You know what I mean? I would hope that black people is not doing that. But you know what I mean? Any type of fornication with a sexual deviancy, you would not be able to put her away unless she does that. You know what I mean? Keep going.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery.
Right, meaning you, not only are you committing adultery for putting her away and getting another woman, like a lot of people read this verse, and what do they say about this verse? They say, oh, look, a man can only be with one woman. You can't put away a woman and go marry another one. But that's not what it's saying. What it's saying is you can't put away your woman unless it be for fornication. Like, you understand? It's not saying, oh, well, you can't be with a woman and stay with her and then go get another woman. Because you can be with a woman and not put her away. You can stay with her, but you can get another one. But you can't be with a woman and put her away just because she got a loud mouth and then go get another one for that reason. Then you will be committing fornication. You understand? And then whoever so that sleep with her, you know what I mean, they also was committing fornication. So not only are you committing fornication, you causing another brother, because you know she's going to go ahead and get another man. Now you causing another brother to also commit fornication. Because you didn't want to deal with her. Because you decided that you wanted to lay down with her, but then you had second thoughts once you realized the type of characteristics or personality she had. You know what I mean? That's why it was not supposed to be like that. But that'll be the answer to that question. I just wanted to make sure I get that answer to that question in that we had last week. You know what I mean? And one more question before I go back to the topic. Anybody else got any other questions?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Does this verse also cut the notion of a man sleeping with another woman, knowing that she has a whorish tendency, and believing and not have to worry about ripping her up per se, because he knows that she is going to sleep with another woman, with another man.
All right, say that one more time. You say, is this a verse for men who going out and getting with whores, right? And then they have the mindset, and what is their mindset? Like they know that she probably gonna sleep with another person, right? And so you said, what type of mindset do they have?
They have the mindset that they can rip somebody up, or at least like for a one night stand per se, and because they know that she has whorish tendencies, she's going to sleep with somebody else, and so that will get them off the hook of her being their rib.
Now I wouldn't necessarily say. I mean, in a way, it could be a cut to it. You know what I mean? Because if you out there, like put it like this, if you out there and you just sleeping with a woman, you know what I mean, and you purposely choosing hoes, like you know a woman is a, you know what I mean, a whore or a hoe, she be on the street, and you purposely choose her for the simple fact that, oh, I want to have sex with her, but then you gonna act like, oh well, you my woman now, you know what I mean, you my rib, but you only doing that because you know like a week later she gonna cheat on you, and then now you can be like, oh well, I ain't gotta deal with you no more. You know what I mean? That's a wrong spirit on you to have. You know what I mean? To have that type of mindset. That's a wrong spirit on a brother to have that type of mindset. You know what I mean? And to prevent that, that's why in the school we have a 6-month period of courtship to where you can't marry. You know what I mean? To prevent things like that. You understand? To get to know somebody. And I suggest that if you get a woman in the world, you do the same thing, because that's an actual wrong spirit to have and a wicked spirit to have. And essentially, yes, you would be sleeping with, you most likely will be sleeping with another man's woman. If she a whore like that, she probably got some dude that, you know what I mean, it's her main dude, just like Kevin said, it's her main dude, and you one of the side men. So 9 times out of 10, you probably are committing adultery because you know she got another man. That's why the first thing you do or you want to do if you getting a woman in the world is ask her if she have a man. If she say no, because 9 times out of 10 they might say no, you ask her, who is she dealing with? You got to get to know things like that, because yes, you could be, like this verse said, you could be committing adultery. Because that could be somebody could be looking at her like that's their girl, that's their woman, and she's giving them that notion, but she's just sleeping around. You know what I mean? You would want to find those things out before you decided to deal with a woman. So yeah, it would be a cut to that, because you need to find those things out, or else, like you said, you could find yourself committing adultery and don't even realize it. And you know why you don't realize it? Because of negligence, because you didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? Because you decided, oh well, you know what I mean, she on the street, I can put her away in another week because she'll be with the next dude. You know what I mean? In essence, yes, you know you commit adultery, man. You know what you're doing. It's a spirit behind it. Like you're not clueless. You're not lost. You're not, you know what I mean? Oh well, I didn't know. You mean you already have a agenda that you know what I mean, that you sticking by. You already got your own agenda of how you looking at things and how you outputting and viewing things. You know what I mean? So I would use you would use this verse for a cut to that. Give me but anybody else got any other questions?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
What would be the scripture to show a woman that once you dealt with her and she go deal with another man that you can't go back to her again?
It's in the New Testament. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. Maybe I could get it before end of the class, but I know it's in the New Testament. If anybody knows, just, you know what I mean, let me know. But I know it's in the New Testament. I mean, not the New Testament, the Old Testament, Salakia. I know it's in the Old Testament. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know exactly where it's at this moment. But I'll definitely find that for you. If I don't get it by the end of the class, I'll definitely probably text you at the end of class when I'm able to go ahead and look for it. So I'll get back to you on that one. But I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Cool, sir.
But we're going to go to John 8:1. That's where we left off at. Give me John 8:1.
Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives.
Oh,
And early in the morning he came again.
That's verse 1. Say the when you read it in Bible Shock, you can say the chapter and verse that you at. Start off saying the chapter and verse you at.
Salakia, sir. Salakia, sir. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 1. Jesus went up. Salakia. Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives. Verse 2. And early in the morning he came again into the temple. And all the people came unto him. And he sat down and taught them. Verse 3. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, verse 4, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act.
Right. So you understand, Yahushua was. Salak, if I could, when since we in class, everybody should know that Jesus is Yahushua. So if you could just use Yahushua instead of Jesus. But you understand, Yahushua was teaching the people, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they whole living was to try to prove Christ wrong so they can have him persecuted. They was trying to find Christ slipping so they can go ahead and persecute him according to the law. So they caught a woman in the act of adultery. And notice they caught a woman in the act of adultery, but where was the dude at? She would have to commit an adultery with the man, right? What shows you the spirit behind the Sadducees and Pharisees, because they was committing adultery. They knew that they was doing the same thing, man. You understand? They knew they was doing the same thing. They caught a woman in the act of adultery, meaning the man has to be committing adultery too. She's sleeping with another man. The man has to know that that's another man's woman. But they only brought the woman. Shows you that that's what they was doing. Go ahead.
Salakia, but I found that precept whenever you ready for it.
All right, no sweat. Just give it to me real quick, and I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna come back to it.
It's in Deuteronomy 24, verses 1 through 4.
Okay, Deuteronomy 24:1. All right, the water for that. I'm gonna come back to that, but you understand? They caught the woman in the act of committing adultery, and they brought her to Christ. You understand? They told him that she was caught in the very act. So we about to read, what they was trying to have done, which is the judgment. They was trying to judge it. But we about to.
Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou?
Right, keep going.
This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Yahweh stooped down, and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. Verse 7, so when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him cast a stone at her.
Right, Shalom, Lord Christ, who just chimed in?
Just love you, sir. Got you dismissed.
All right, no sweat. You understand? But Yahweh Christ, he said, they went to him, they told her that the woman was stoned, the woman was caught in adultery. You understand? And when they started talking to him, he started writing in the grass like he ain't hear them. You know what I mean? Drawing in the sand, writing in the sand, like he don't hear them, man. Not paying them no mind. Because he knew what they was trying to do. He knew that they was trying to accuse him. He knew that he was trying to, first of all, he was going to the sinners and healing the sinners and telling them to sin no more. So they thought in their mind that he was about to, excuse her and say, oh no, don't follow Moses. Like they, they trying to find a way to trick Christ. You know what I mean? But Christ then stood up after they asked him. He stood up and told them, man, he is without sin, cast the first stone. You know what I mean? And what is Christians always say when they say only God can judge me? He that is without sin, cast the first stone. They always, that's their go-to thing, man. Oh, you can't be judging me. He is that sin, cast the first stone. But they, what's so stupid? They don't realize that in they saying of what they actually saying. They don't realize, like, I'm telling you that you're sinning. I'm telling our people that we're sinning. You understand that what we're doing is against the Lord. I'm not casting stones. That's what the statement comes from. They was actually going to stone her. Like he didn't say casting stones as no metaphor. No, this is physical. They was actually going to stone her. That is the penalty. That is the judgment for adultery, being stoned to death. You know what I mean? We not out there at camp stoning people, killing people. We're not even touching people. You know what I mean? That's what they don't understand what the word judgment means, man. Understand? Read verse 7 again from the top.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 7. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
Right, meaning if you haven't sinned, if you perfect, then you can throw this rock. You know what I mean? That's what he told the people. You know what I mean? Okay, well y'all saying that, yeah, I like pretty much Christ, like I know what it says in the book of Moses. You know what I mean? I know what's the penalty for this. I know what's the judgment for adultery. But he said, well, whichever one of y'all who is without sin, you know what I mean? You throw the rock first. Y'all stone her to death if y'all ain't without sin. And you know what they did? They left because they realized, they knew that their own heart guilted them. They knew that they were sinners, man. They knew that they sinned and they was hypocrites. So they all left. But this is not to say don't tell people or you can't say nothing to people. This is saying that you can't kill people, man. You can't punish them, which we don't do. That's judgment. Judgment is to be punished. It's the punishments that come with it. Even when you go to court today, you know what I mean? You go to the judge, you sit in front of the judge today. When you sit in front of the judge, what do? Like when they pass that judgment, that's not them just saying nothing. No, you about to either go to jail, you know what I mean? You about to be, they even give you the death penalty. You know what I mean? We're not doing that. We're not giving you jail time. Or, you know what I mean? We don't have power to judge you. We're not judging you. You can even look at a judge. It's a decision that they make based off of your life. You know what I mean? Based off of what you did, they make a decision and give you a punishment for what you did. Punishment being going to jail or being on probation. You know what I mean? Us telling the people, our people, you know what I mean, that we sinning or we transgressing the law, and you know what I mean, if we don't come back to the Lord, then we'll be punished for it. That's not us judging you. You know what I mean? That's not nothing to do with judging. That's warning. That will be a warning. Just like we read in Ezekiel. That will be us having your best interest in heart, man. Really, honestly, we got your best interest in heart. We thinking about you and we love you and we want better for you. You know what I mean? We want better for our people. We realize that we are the same people, and the only way we gonna come out of this situation, out of oppression, is if we come together. We stop being separate. So that's why we go to our people and let them know, man. We're not judging, we're not casting stones. Give me Romans 6 and 23. You know what I'm saying? This because Romans 6 and 23 is going to prove, you understand, that we're not doing judgment. Because what would be, I'm going to ask a question, what would be the judgment of sins, man? Like if we were judging people, you know what I mean? People say that we judging people, right? But what is the actual judgment of sins?
Shalakia, sir.
Go ahead. You got a precept with it? Well, I just gave a precept, but go ahead.
The wages of sin is death.
Right, you understand? The wages of sin is death, which is the precept I'm about to pull right now. But we not killing nobody, man. You understand? We not harming, we not hurting, we not putting a finger on anybody's head, man. You know what I mean? We not doing none of that type of stuff. We don't do that. We don't resort to violence. We are trained to self-defend, but we don't go out and commit no type of acts of violence. You know what I mean? Judging people and doing things to people because of what they're doing. You understand? Read, you got that verse for me? Romans 6 and 23?
The book of Romans, 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of the Most High is eternal life through Yahushua, our power.
Right. So meaning if we sinning, you understand? If we sinning, the judgment for our sins, the wages, you understand? The judgment of the sins will be death. You understand? And then it's crazy because even the next part will say, but if you are righteous, then you will have eternal life. Meaning, eternal life is also a judgment. You understand? Like people think in their mind, oh, you can't judge people. They think when they think of the word judging, they always think it's some negative type of thing. But a judgment can be a righteous judgment. It can be a good judgment. You can actually serve the Lord and be in the truth and do everything you can for the Lord and be judged righteously. Like when we come into the truth and we in this truth and we promoting this truth and we serving the Lord, we doing this because we love our people and we trying to get our people out of this oppression. But our reward, our judgment for it will be eternal life. It will be rulership. You understand? Where we can rule, we will now be ruling the world. That's a judgment, man. A judgment don't always got to be bad. You understand? That's why when people say judgment, they don't really know what it means to judge. They don't really know what the word means. It's a reason why they say. The reason why they say that is because they don't want to hear you talk about what they're doing. That's why they're saying it. Like to make themselves feel better, they got to think of us, or they got to think of our other people, you know what I mean, our people as if, oh, well, you do the same thing, or oh, well, you do this. So I ain't got to listen to you. It's like a means to try to put, you know what I mean, us down so they can continue to, so we know what I mean, we can continue to do what we want to do in our life. So we don't have to come into the truth and we can do whatever the hell we want to do. You know what I mean? But it says the wages, read that from the top again.
I will come to the book of Romans chapter 6, verse 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Yahweh is eternal life through Yahushua, our Lord.
Right, you understand? The wages of sin is death, man. We not out there killing nobody. That's why I wanted to make it clear of what judgment is, because we seem to lack the understanding of what judgment is. You know what I mean? Our people always want to say this stuff. Always want to say, you know, only God can judge me. In reality, you don't want God to judge you. Like they thinking by saying this, they getting one up on you. Oh, well, you can't say nothing. Only God can judge me. Well, in reality, you don't want God to judge you. Because God's judgment is what? God is righteous. You know what I mean? God is perfect. The Lord is perfect.
Like,
Go ahead.
and then it says that God can put you to death for that. We can't, even if we can move, can put you to death for it. So you definitely don't want the Most High to judge you.
Exactly. That's exactly correct, man. You understand? The Lord is perfect and righteous. He will actually put you to death. We not going to. We can't. You know what I mean? That's not what we're here for. We're here to warn the people so they don't be judged, you know what I mean, according to their wicked doings. They be judged according to their righteous doings, so they'll have eternal life rather than be judged according to their wickedness and being put to death. But the Lord, you say, oh, only God can judge me. You don't, that's something that, you know what I mean, that's not something that you should be saying. You know what I mean? You're not getting one up on me, you know what I mean, one up on anybody that's in the truth by saying only God can judge me. Because he will put you to death, man. That will be his judgment, to put you to death. Or you get caught up with the nuclear bombs when World War III pop off. That could be his judgment. Now so now rather than hear us on the street and telling you, you know what I mean, warning you to serve the Lord because the Lord only loves you, is worse than you get actually getting killed by thermonuclear warfare. You know what I mean? That's what I would start telling people, man. You don't want God to judge you. You know what I mean? We don't, you know what I mean? That's not something that you looking forward to. Yeah, I can't wait to God give me my judgment. You know what I'm saying? So give me we're gonna go to the next verse. Give me 2 Peter's 2:9, which even shows you why you know what I mean you don't want the Lord to judge you. Give me 2 Peter's 2:9.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. Yahweh knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished.
Right, and that's showing you also again what judgment is. He said to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment, meaning the day that that verdict will be cast down and the judgment will be carried out, which is being punished, man. You understand? If you look at the word judgment, punishment always goes hand in hand because that's the judgment. That could be the negative judgment on based off of what you're doing if you're doing wickedly. You know what I mean? Don't get in the punishment with it. You understand? Read that from the top again.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. Yahweh knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished.
Right, you understand? To deliver the godly out of temptations, meaning the ones that serving the Lord, he knows how to deliver them, man. He knows how to save them from their oppression, get them to where they don't have to worry about it no more because they trusting in the Lord. And that's what we trying to get all of our people to be at that level. So we all trusting in the Lord, and the white man will come crumbling down because, you know what I mean, we serving the Lord, now the Lord done put his hands against our enemies. You understand? We trying to get everybody to be righteous. We trying to get our people to serve the Lord, man. Serve our power instead of serving everybody else. Start to love our people instead of loving everybody else. You understand? That's what we trying to do. But it says also that the unjust, the Lord does also reserve the unjust. Like they say that, oh, only God can judge me. Well, if we not serving the Lord, then according to this verse right here, he is going to judge you. And he's reserving your judgment. You understand? He's saving your judgment for that day that he casts it down and you'll be punished. And that punish is the wages of sin, which is death, man. That punish is while he's destroying the white man, you're going to be destroyed along with it. That's judgment. We don't want that. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even want to do that if the Lord, you know what I mean? That'd be a hard thing to do, man. But the Lord, he'll do it because he's a man of war. You know what I mean? We not out here judging people, man. That's what people need to start to understand. They need the first question, somebody say, only God can judge me. The first question you want to ask them is, well, what is judgment? What is judging? Like, what does that word mean? What does it mean to judge somebody? 9 times out of 10, they won't even be able to tell you. The main thing they'll tell you is, well, you can't say I'm doing this and that and that and da-da-da-da-da, meaning like I can't say nothing, I can't talk. And the reason why they say that is because they really don't want to hear what the hell you got to say. I mean, they don't want to hear what they doing is wrong. They don't want to hear that they got to change their ways. They got to stop doing the things that they're doing. That's stuff that they don't want to hear. They want to hear that I might be doing all this wickedness throughout the week, but if I go to church on Sunday, if I come to class on, you know what I mean, Sunday or whatever day that they go to church and class to, Bible study, and then I'm saved. The Lord forgive me. I got a weekly forgiveness that every week I might do something wrong, but as soon as I get in church on Sunday, my whole week is forgiven, and I'm on to the next one, and it's a cycle, a rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? That's in their mindset right there. Which we're going to get into that. Give me, because what is one of the main things, this is a question, I don't want to give it yet. I'm going to ask the question. What is one of the main things that they say along with God, only God can judge me? You know what I mean? Like you'll tell a Christian that they doing something wrong, and they'll say, "Well, only God can judge me," or "You shouldn't be judged." What is one of the main things that they say that back that up? Like it's something that go hand in hand with only God can judge me when it comes to Christians. I know you heard it. When somebody say it, if I say it, you're gonna be like, "Damn, that is right." It's something that they always say. It's hand in hand.
Sir.
Go ahead.
The
You said what?
Lord knows my heart.
Right. God knows my heart. That's exactly what it is. Only God can judge me. God knows my heart. You know what I mean? That's their go-to thing, man. You understand? Like, as if your heart is different from what you're doing. You know what I mean? Your heart is based off of what you set on doing. That's why I say, where you put your treasures, there is his heart. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I mean, what the acts that you're doing is what your heart is. That's what you want. You don't sit here and like, that's like if somebody, like, you know what I mean, molesting a child. My heart didn't want to do it though. That's what you lusting after, man. That's your heart. God knows my heart. I can kill a brother, but God, the Lord knows my heart. He know I ain't mean to do it. So then why'd you do it? You know what I mean? Give me Jeremiah. Give me Jeremiah 17 and 9. I see online they do say, "Are you sin free too?" That's one of the questions that they ask us at camp, actually. You know what I mean? They ask us, "Well, what about you? Aren't you a sinner?" No. They be shocked for that answer too. It's so funny. Every time you tell them no, they be shocked. They swear you're lying. They be shocked. Because that's not the answer they respect. They respect you to be like a Christian pastor. Nobody's perfect. Only God's perfect. I mean, but the Christ told us to be ye perfect. If ain't nobody perfect, then why the hell did Christ tell us to be perfect? Because to be perfect is simple, man. You don't break any law such as the commandments. But they do ask that question. Give me Jeremiah 17 and 9.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Right, you understand? Anybody know what this is saying? Anybody want to take a shot? It's kind of self-explanatory. There's two ways you can look at it also. So I'm going to try to see if I can get both of the ways. Anybody know what this is saying? Nobody want to take a shot? Somebody said it first. Go ahead.
Basically saying that pretty much doing what your flesh wants you to do, knowing that you may know better in your mind.
All right, that's a good answer. Anybody else want to try? Somebody else said Salaki after?
Yes, Salaki. So I was going to pretty much say the same thing.
It says, the heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it?
Salaki.
Go ahead.
Salaki.
Go ahead, Carwan said it
Your heart
first.
could justify. Your heart could justify anything that you want to do, but you can't really know your own heart because you can persuade your heart. Your mind can persuade you to do anything you want to do or anything you feel like doing. You can justify your actions. That's why it's wicked, because you're listening to yourself. You're not listening to the Most High.
That's exactly why it says that, man. That's exactly what I was looking for. You understand? Your heart will lead you to do anything that you want to do. You understand? Like, that's why I say who can know it. Like, you don't even know your own heart. You know what I mean? You sitting here saying God knows my heart. And that's why I said before, what you doing is based off of what your heart wants. Because you know what? In your heart, you thought that was a good thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, think about like somebody who robbed people, man. They don't look at what they're doing as wrong because of why? They robbing people to feed their family. I got a little girl and I ain't got no money, so I'm gonna just rob and get it. So their heart is convincing them that robbing people is okay to do because they got to take care of their daughter. They got to take care of their family. You know what I mean? That's why I say the heart is wicked among all things, because based off of what you do, your heart will trick you into doing it and making you think that it's right or it's okay. You know what I mean? You eating shrimp, lobster, and crab. Your heart will trick you into eating that because your heart will tell you, well, I still love God even though I'm eating this. Or I prayed over the food, so what God was unclean, God can make it clean. Just pray over it. Your heart will have you doing that, man. Praying over shrimp, lobster, crab, and pork, thinking that it's clean now. I mean, just like he said, your heart will trick you into thinking that what is wrong is right, and it will justify it. You will find all the type of ways of why you justify it. Women cheating on their husbands, they men. What do they say? Well, you wasn't spending no time with me. Well, you wasn't giving me no attention no more. You wasn't talking to me. And that's why you know what I mean? That's why you want to commit adultery. The heart will justify it, man. It will make you seem like, oh well, I had a good heart. I didn't mean to do it. I wasn't being malicious. You know what I mean? That's why I said, read the next verse.
Come about the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 10. I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings. Right,
you understand? The Lord, and even this goes into the judgment, because he said he will give you according to your doings and your way. He said he tries the ways. You understand? According to what you do, he will give you the fruit of your doings, man. You understand? If you're doing wickedly, he will give you your wicked fruit. You understand? If you're doing righteously, he will give you righteous fruit, meaning the judgment even in this verse. The Lord is the one that's going to judge you. You're right. Only God can judge you, but it's not how you thinking it is. You're using it out of context. You know what I mean? Like they right when they say only God. Right now, yeah, only God can judge you. You're right. But you don't understand what it means, the judgment. You're using it as if I'm judging you. I'm not judging you. But the Lord will judge you. And I don't think it's what you're looking for. I don't think that's what you think you had in mind. You understand? Like, even when they say that, it's like, how do you have it in your mind that you about to be okay? You say only the Lord can judge me. Now in their mind, they probably thinking the Lord knows their heart. That's why I asked for that verse, because they use it hand in hand. Because the Lord knows their heart, and the Lord knows you a good person, so he's just gonna give you a good judgment. Like, why for a second in your mind you don't think, well, damn, wait a minute, I am doing wickedly. Would I want the Lord to judge me? Is it right to ask for the Lord judgment? Maybe I shouldn't say that. You know what I mean? They don't even think in their mind for a second, because they trust in their heart, and their heart convinces them that they are justifying their actions. People will say all the time, oh, I might do this, you know what I mean? I might steal, but at least I don't kill people. As if they're trying to compare one sin to another sin. Or I might sell drugs, but at least I'm not a homosexual. I mean, that's why the Bible said if you commit one sin, you done committed them all. So people don't sit here and try to compare sins, because, you know, our people will find a way to get out of anything. And they'll compare sins. Well, yeah, I might smoke weed, but at least I ain't, you know what I mean? At least I ain't out there doing something else where they think is more wicked than smoking weed. But it's not. It's all the damn same. Go ahead.
And like even from like a worldly point of view about that, if you break one law, you break them all. You break one command, you break them all. My mother used to always tell me, if you a lie, you will fail. Meaning, like, if you will commit one sin, you will commit another sin. You know what I mean? Because if you broke one, you'll break them all.
Right, and that's exactly a good way to put it too, because that's true. That's true. You gotta think about it. If you okay with smoking weed, and you ain't got a problem with smoking weed, who's to say you won't break another law that you wouldn't have a problem with? Like, you thinking in your mind, well, at least I'm not being a homosexual, but you're smoking weed, you're sleeping with other men's women. You know what I mean? Anything that feels good to you, you'll do. Maybe homosexuality just don't feel good to you, but that ain't gonna stop you from breaking all the other laws. You know what I mean? And that's true. If you gonna lie, if you willing to lie, then you showing that your character is whenever something feels good to you or benefits you, then you just gonna do it, whether it's a sin or not. You have no boundaries. You have nothing that's gonna keep you from not doing it. That's exactly true, man. You understand? Because that's what in essence what it means. If you break one, you done broke them all. You might as well, and that's why we say that. That's why we say things like, well, if you smoke weed, you might as well be a homosexual. They be like, oh no, you crazy now. It really is no difference. It really isn't. You might as well. I mean, you already breaking a sin. You already gonna be, you know what I mean, judged based off of breaking the law when the Lord will come return. So you might as well do everything you want to do. Live your best life. I mean, the Lord not gonna come and be like, well, you was smoking weed, you was selling drugs, you was eating shrimp, lobster, and pork. You know what I mean? You was you know what I mean, celebrating the holidays, but you wasn't a homosexual, so I'm gonna be a little easier on you. You're gonna get a different death than them. Nah, man, it's all the same. I mean, the Lord has no benefit in you. He can't use you for no way because you don't give a damn about him. You know what I mean? And this is a precept for the question that I asked. Give me Proverbs 21:2. This is a quick precept for what I just said. You know what I mean? The question I asked about the heart. You know what I mean? Who can know it? Because your heart is going to trick you, and that's why it says this right here. You got that for me? Proverbs 21:2.
Come about the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 2. Every way of a man is right in his own eye.
Right. Every way of a man is right in his own eye, man. Meaning, whatever you doing, you're going to think that you're right. That's why you're doing it. You know what I mean? When we was in the world, we was out there, you know what I mean, doing all the things that we was doing, we thought we was right. You know what I mean? We thought that, oh, ain't nothing wrong with this. We thought that we can go to church on Sunday and just say Jesus a couple of times and we'll be forgiven. We thought he was right. I mean, which is why you can't sit here and say only God can judge me. Because you thinking that what you're doing is right. You thinking that what you're doing is okay to do. Read that from the top again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. But the Lord, but the Most High pondereth the hearts.
Right, you understand? But the Most High ponders your heart, man. You think that you're right, but the Lord looking at your heart and seeing that you're not right, you understand? He's seeing that you devising evil things, you're doing evil things, and that's what you want to do. You understand? You're not right in the Lord's eyes, man. You don't want the Lord to judge you. You understand? That's why I say in Isaiah the 30th chapter, that this is the reason why people want this to happen. This is the reason why people don't want us saying nothing, and they say only God can judge me, because they really don't want to hear you, because they want to hear smooth things, man. You understand? The truth hurts. That's one thing our people can't deal with. We can't deal with the truth. You know what I mean? When we believe something, you tell somebody that what they believe in is a lie, they get so offended because the truth hurts, man. They want to hear smooth things. They want to hear things that make them feel good. You understand? But that's all the verses I have for today. Anybody got any questions before I end the class? Just use this time to answer some questions. Oh, you got that verse for me? Hey, pull Deuteronomy 24. We're going to answer that. We're going to go back to that verse. that the young man Kevin asked for, if a wife go and commit adultery, you shouldn't take her back.
I walk out of the book of Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house.
Right, you understand? So just like we read, just like we read in Ecclesiasticus, you know what I mean, it's saying that if a man has a woman, you understand, and take a woman to marry her, and he find no favor, and she find no favor in his eyes, meaning that he don't like her. You understand? He married her, and he comes to find out he don't like her. It gets more specific into it, but it says, but he don't like her. You understand? Now put her away, because he have found some uncleanness in her. Then let him write a bill of divorce, a divorcement, and get. Now this uncleanness is being like she not following the law. This is not necessarily talking about sex right here in this context. It's meaning uncleanness, like meaning she could be eating pork. You know what I mean? She could be, you know what I mean, doing something that's just anything that make her unclean, not necessarily just sex or fornication. But he found uncleanness in her and said, give her a bill of divorce and put her away. Read the next verse.
Verse 2. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Right, so she leaves, after she leaves because she got the bill of divorce, she can go and get another husband. You know what I mean? She wouldn't be committing adultery because she got put away. So she'll be able to get another husband. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife. Verse 4. Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
Right, stop right there.
After that, she is.
It say, and if the later, verse 3 is, and if the later husband hate her, and that's the reason why you was able to put her away. That's why I said in the Matthew 19th chapter that for the hardening of the heart, the hardening of man's heart, meaning he hated her, man. You understand? You're not supposed to hate your wife, regardless of what she's doing. How about you help her instead of hating her and not want to deal with it? Oh, I'm going to just put her away because I don't want to go through this problem. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to fight her demons to help her. You know what I mean? That was the reason, because people hated their wives, man, and they treated them as such.
Like it.
Go ahead.
That law is about husbands putting away their wives. I just wanted to point out that there's no law about a wife putting away her husband, because that's unlawful. And I had a second thing I wanted to bring up, but I'll bring it up when it comes along.
All right, no sweat. But you can say that one more time. Just speak up a little bit louder.
Now, I said the law is about if a husband finds some uncleanness in his wife, there's no law about if a wife finds some uncleanness or unfavor in her husband, because that's unlawful, like Christ said. But a man back in the day could put away his wife, but a wife could never put away her husband.
Right, you understand? And that was in the Old Testament. Just like he said, you know what I mean? A man, in the law of Moses, a man could put away his wife, but a wife could never put away her husband. You understand? But Christ knew. Go ahead.
I was thinking about that precept. That was my second thing. It says in the beginning it was not so. So like when you read in Genesis or anything that predates Moses, you don't see men or women breaking apart. You know what I mean? They was always together. That was like a lifetime thing.
Right, and that's why I said in the beginning it was not so, meaning it happened when we end up becoming a nation. When Moses led us out of Egypt, You understand that we came a nation out of Egypt. That's when things like that started to happen, man. Where people wanted to put away their wives and didn't want to be with them no more. That's when the things started happening. But it was not like that. So just like he said in Genesis, because in Genesis it tells you in the 3rd chapter that a man shall leave his family and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one. It didn't say, oh, if later on they can get a divorce, man. It was not always so. But because men started to grow a hating to their wife and wanted to put them away, the Moses gave them a law to where they can do it under. You understand? But now Christ is telling you that we're not doing that no more. Because Christ was all about brotherhood and sisterhood. You know what I mean? He was about the nation. He was about us loving each other. And the part of us loving each other is not putting away your wife because she's not listening to you. You know what I mean? Why don't you do what you got to do? Help her out. Fight her demons with her. Fight her battle with her. And get her to listen to you. You know what I mean? A lot of people thinking in their mind love is a feeling, man. Love is not a feeling. Everything ain't going to be all good and gravy. Sometimes you're going to have to go through some problems where you damn near don't even want to be in the same house as the person. But love is what's going to keep y'all together. Because you know I would never leave her. You know what I mean? I would never leave him. You know what I mean? But read verse 3 again for me, Hadar.
Oh God. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and giveth it in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife.
Right, you understand? Meaning oh no, Salakia. Meaning that if the husband that just get her, the husband that she got that was after him, if he hate her too and put her away or he died, then the former husband, go ahead, verse 4.
Which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
Right, meaning that he would not be able to take her back, man, because she is defiled. You understand? You would not be able to take her. If she want to go sleep with another man, you cannot take her back, man. You understand? Because not only that, if you take her back, you really showing your integrity. Like you have no integrity. You know what I mean? That you showing yourself to be a sucker. You know what I mean? To just put it plain and simple. You understand? You showing that you agreeing with whoredom. You agreeing with adultery, man. You understand? But you shouldn't take her back a woman, you understand, that committed adultery against you. You know what I mean? So that was the verse on that you needed, Kevin, for that. And that's what it says, Deuteronomy 24, 1 through 4. But with that, anybody else got any other questions? All right, no sweat. We're going to go ahead and close out the class.